Sagittarius. You're finding joy in the care journey. Multigenerational Zodiac tips. When joy feels like a memory, there was a time when laughter came easily. When you, Sagittarius, could find wonder in the smallest things, the curve of sunlight through the kitchen window, the hum of conversation at dinner, the sudden pull of inspiration that made you pack a bag and chase a horizon. You were a woman led by joy, spontaneous, curious, open to life's endless dance. But lately joy feels like something you have to schedule, something you try to remember rather than feel. The sandwich generation has its name for a reason. You are pressed from both sides. Your parents need your time, your children need your strength, and somewhere in between, you are trying to keep your own light from flickering out. You've become the axis of everyone's world, steady, dependable, always showing up. But beneath the steadiness lies fatigue, and beneath the fatigue a fog. Your mind, once so alive with ideas and adventure, now spins with lists, appointments, and the constant background hum of worry. Studies say that nearly 47% of adults in midlife are caring for both aging parents and children. In Europe, where populations age faster, the weight of care is expected to double by 2050. Behind those statistics are faces like yours, women who smile through the overwhelm, who rarely ask for rest because love is their compass. But love alone cannot sustain the fire. Even Jupiter's generous flame needs oxygen. Sagittarius, you are ruled by Jupiter, the planet of joy, expansion, and truth. Your soul was never meant to move only in circles of duty. It was born to explore meaning, to seek wisdom in motion. And yet here you are standing still, surrounded by care that sometimes feels endless. You wonder, where did my joy go? But the stars whisper a gentler truth. Your joy is not gone. It's simply waiting for you to turn toward it again. It has not left. It has only shifted shape. It now lives in smaller, subtler places. The sparkle in your mother's eyes when she feels heard. The sound of your child's laughter in the next room. The brief, precious moments when silence fills the air and you feel your breath return. The secret, Sagittarius, is not to escape this season but to explore it, to bring your natural curiosity into caregiving itself. What if care could be an adventure of the spirit? What if harmony could come not from having less to do, but from doing it differently, with rhythm, with cosmic awareness, with Jupiter's faith lighting your path? This is where astrology becomes your ally. The stars do not erase your burdens, but they teach you how to move in time with them, how to rest when energy wanes, how to expand when opportunities arise, how to rediscover play even in the midst of responsibility. Through planetary rhythm, mindful rituals, and creative connection, you can begin to weave joy back into the ordinary. Because joy for Sagittarius is not a luxury. It's your lifeblood. It's what keeps your care from becoming a cage. It's what turns exhaustion into tenderness, repetition into meaning. And when you begin to live again in alignment with Jupiter's rhythm, joy stops being a memory and becomes your daily prayer. So take a deep breath. Exhale the guilt. Let the stars remind you. Your joy still lives here, right in the middle of your life, waiting for you to notice it again. I don't need to escape to find joy. Joy walks beside me even here. Chapter 1: The Sagittarius Fog. When too much love becomes too little joy, there's a strange kind of exhaustion that doesn't always show on your face, Sagittarius. A quiet dullness that settles in the corners of your spirit. You keep moving, smiling, helping, explaining, arranging, and yet inside something feels dim. You're doing everything right, but you've stopped feeling alive. The days blend together in a blur of tasks and tenderness, and somewhere between caring for your parents and managing your children's worlds, you've misplaced the laughter that once defined you. This is what I call the Sagittarius fog. When your generous heart outgives your inner flame. It's what happens when love, instead of uplifting you, begins to drain you. When your optimism, instead of illuminating, begins to blur. It's not that you've lost your joy entirely. It's that you've been too busy carrying others to remember what it feels like to stand still in your own light. Your sign, ruled by Jupiter, is naturally expansive, curious, philosophical, and attuned to the big picture. You crave meaning like air. You're not built for repetition or confinement, yet caregiving often feels like both. The rhythm of appointments, medications, school meetings, and emotional caregiving creates a mental fog, a haze of love and fatigue that clouds clarity. You think, I should be grateful, and you are, but gratitude without rest becomes guilt. This fog doesn't mean you're failing. It means you've been giving from depletion. It's what psychologists call compassion fatigue, a state of chronic stress caused by constant empathy without replenishment. Studies in the U.S. show that caregivers in their 40s and 50s report up to 40% higher rates of anxiety and cognitive strain. European research echoes the same. Women in dual care roles experience more emotional burnout and brain fog than any other demographic group. The science simply mirrors what your soul already knows. Even Jupiter's brightest flame flickers without oxygen. But here is the deeper wisdom. The fog is not your enemy. It's your compass. It's the universe's way of signaling that something in your rhythm needs recalibration. Sagittarius, your fire was never meant to burn continuously. It was meant to breathe, to expand, contract, rest, and rise again. Your journey through care doesn't have to be one of depletion. It can become one of rediscovery, of learning that joy is not a condition of freedom but an expression of awareness. The more you bring consciousness into your caregiving, the more joy begins to return in unexpected ways. Try this. When you feel your mind spinning with responsibility, pause and look for something beautiful in the moment you're in. It could be your father's gentle smile when you hand him his tea, or your child's laughter from another room, or the sunlight across the floor. Let that single image anchor you. Breathe into it. This is presence, the most sacred form of care there is. You see, joy doesn't always roar. Sometimes it hums quietly under the noise, waiting for you to notice. When you start to look for it intentionally, the fog begins to thin. The path forward is not about doing less, Sagittarius. It's about seeing more. To lift the fog, you must invite your curiosity back into the room. Your natural desire to understand, to connect dots, to find meaning. Ask yourself gentle questions throughout the day. What is this moment teaching me? What part of me is expanding through this experience? How can I bring lightness into what feels heavy? These questions turn caregiving from burden into spiritual apprenticeship. You're not just maintaining lives, you're cultivating wisdom. Every act of love, no matter how mundane, becomes a mirror of Jupiter's benevolence, teaching you how to give without losing your glow. So the next time you feel lost in fog, remember, this isn't the end of your joy. It's the beginning of a new kind, quieter, wiser, born from awareness rather than escape. Even in care, my spirit explores. Even in repetition, I rediscover wonder. Your joy, Sagittarius, is not gone. It's simply asking you to look closer. And when you do, when you breathe, when you notice, when you choose to see with new eyes, you'll realize that the fog was never meant to block your light. It was meant to show you how radiant it still is. Chapter 2: Jupiter's Compass. Finding joy through cosmic routine. When your world begins to blur into repetition, Sagittarius, your first instinct is to run. To chase fresh air, new landscapes, new meaning. But in caregiving, there is rarely space for escape. The rhythm is constant: wake, tend, plan, soothe, repeat. You can't leave, so you begin to suffocate in stillness. Yet Jupiter, your ruling planet, reminds you that movement doesn't always require motion. There's another kind of freedom, one born from rhythm, not rebellion. Jupiter's wisdom is generous and spacious. It teaches that everything in life moves in cycles, even joy. When you understand these cosmic rhythms, you can begin to live in harmony with them, finding grace in the everyday. You start to see caregiving not as a cage, but as a choreography, one that you can lead with awareness. Imagine this. Instead of pushing through exhaustion, you move with Jupiter's timing, the way sailors once watched the stars to guide their journeys. You learn when to expand, when to rest, and when to simply float. Each day becomes a dialogue with the cosmos, a partnership rather than a struggle. Start by tuning into Jupiter's transits, the planetary movements that shape your emotional tides. When Jupiter forms trines or sextiles to your natal sun, moon, or ascendant, you'll feel your optimism rise naturally. These are windows of ease, when the universe clears a little space for laughter, creativity, and connection. Plan lightness into those days, a family picnic, a short outing, or a creative project that makes your spirit breathe again. When Jupiter forms squares or oppositions, life may feel heavier. You might find yourself overcommit or impatient. Instead of fighting that weight, honor it. Simplify your schedule, delegate where possible, and lean on small rituals for grounding. Sagittarius tends to confuse productivity with purpose, but Jupiter's harder aspects are your reminder that rest is a sacred action. And when Jupiter turns retrograde, The universe invites you to look inward. This is your time to revisit old sources of joy. The book you loved but never finished, the hobby you abandoned, the journaling practice that once helped you reflect. Retrogrades are not setbacks, they are resets. In these seasons, you're not meant to expand outward, but to rediscover the landscapes within yourself. If chart tracking feels complex, let simplicity lead. Follow Jupiter's essence through ritual rhythm. Every Thursday, Jupiter's Day, dedicate a moment to joy. Call it your golden hour. You might drink coffee under the morning sun, write 3 lines of gratitude in your journal, or take an evening walk with music that makes you feel infinite. These small practices, done consistently, align you with Jupiter's vibration, abundance, perspective, and peace. You can also align with the moon cycles to bring structure into softness. During the waxing moon, when energy builds, focus on new experiences. Try a new recipe with your children, listen to stories from your parents, plan something lighthearted. During the waning moon, slow down. Reflect, release, and simplify your routine. The cosmos mirrors your own rhythm, expansion and contraction, giving and receiving, the eternal dance of balance. When you begin to organize your life around these celestial patterns, even the repetitive starts to shimmer with meaning. Folding laundry under a waxing moon becomes an act of renewal. Preparing a meal on a Jupiter day becomes a ritual of gratitude. Your awareness transforms tasks into touchstones of connection. Scientific studies show that when caregivers introduce ritualized mindfulness, consistent times for breathing, reflecting, or journaling, anxiety levels drop significantly and emotional resilience rises. You are not imagining the power of rhythm. Your body and spirit are built to thrive in it. Jupiter's compass doesn't promise a perfect life. It offers perspective. It asks you to look at your daily patterns and ask, where can I invite ease? Sometimes that ease comes from cosmic timing, sometimes from simply remembering that not every moment must be managed. Sagittarius, your greatest medicine lies in your ability to see patterns, to recognize that even the smallest shifts ripple through your entire being. You don't need to overhaul your life to find joy again. You only need to move in harmony with the universe's rhythm, to let Jupiter's light turn routine into ritual, repetition into meaning. Tonight, when you feel weary, look up. Jupiter's glow will likely be visible, steady, golden, alive. Whisper to it softly, teach me to move in time with life, to find joy in rhythm, and to trust the stars that guide me home. And as you breathe, imagine that light filling your chest, the compass realigned, the fog lifting, your own rhythm returning. Because harmony, Sagittarius, is not a distant promise. It's the pulse of the universe, and it's beating quietly within you, waiting for you to dance with it again. Chapter 3: Family as Cosmos. Turning care into connection. Somewhere along the caregiving path, Sagittarius, love can begin to feel heavy. Not because it has lost its meaning, but because it has lost its movement. You spend so much energy making sure everyone else is safe, comfortable, and cared for that the joy of togetherness begins to fade. But here's the beautiful secret the stars want you to remember. Connection can be healing too, when it's infused with curiosity, play, and shared purpose. You don't have to carry your family's needs alone. You can invite them into your cosmic rhythm. Family, after all, is its own constellation. Each member shines with a different light. Your parents steady and enduring, your children bright and evolving, and you, the archer, standing in the center, holding the threads of these worlds together. The goal is not to balance them perfectly, but to let their orbits harmonize, to turn care into collaboration. Begin by seeing family life not as chaos to control, but as an ever-shifting solar system. You, ruled by Jupiter, are the guiding planet, expansive, warm, magnetic. Your energy sets the tone. When you breathe, they feel it. When you laugh, they soften. Your openness creates the atmosphere through which harmony flows. Bring Jupiter's playfulness back into your household through small acts of shared exploration. Sagittarius thrives on discovery, and joy returns when life becomes a series of shared adventures, not isolated chores. Try planning cultural evenings once a month. Cook a meal from another country. Play its music. Share one fun fact with your family. This isn't indulgence. It's soul care disguised as dinner. It reconnects you with the part of yourself that hungers for the world, even when you can't travel far. Or turn family storytelling into ritual. Invite your parents to share moments from their youth. stories that reveal their courage, love, or mischief. Record them if you can. This not only honors their wisdom but satisfies your own Sagittarian desire for truth and perspective. Let your children listen. Let them see where they come from. These shared stories weave generations together like constellations, one shining into the next. You can also create moonwalks, short evening strolls under the sky, a simple ritual where everyone leaves their screens and steps into stillness. Point out Jupiter if it's visible. Explain its symbolism. Let curiosity open hearts. These small cosmic rituals don't just bring calm. They remind your family that care isn't duty, it's relationship. It's the art of moving together through time. Astrology can also become a language of understanding. Look at your family's charts, not as predictions but as tools for empathy. Perhaps your parent's moon is in Cancer, craving security, while your child's sun in Aquarius longs for freedom. Seeing these patterns helps you release frustration. You realize they're not resisting you, they're simply being themselves. And when you bring Jupiter's wisdom into these dynamics, you begin to guide rather than manage. You become the philosopher of the household, turning difference into dialogue. In this way, caregiving evolves from a list of tasks into a living conversation, one that includes everyone. You no longer pour yourself out until empty. You participate in a flow of mutual giving. This shift doesn't erase exhaustion entirely, but it transforms it. The same duties that once felt confining begin to feel connected, meaningful, even sacred. And on days when tension rises, because it will, remember Jupiter's humor. Laughter is your medicine. Sagittarius heals through perspective, and nothing restores perspective faster than laughter shared with those you love. Allow silliness, music, mistakes. When dinner burns or plans unravel, take a breath and say, "Ah, Jupiter's teaching us flexibility again." The room will lighten. Your spirit will lift. Each time you choose connection over control, you align more deeply with your cosmic design. Jupiter doesn't bless the perfect home. It blesses the honest one. The home where love breathes, where mistakes are forgiven, where truth is spoken gently. So tonight, as your family moves around you, the sounds of life filling the space, pause and feel the rhythm beneath it all. This is your orbit, Sagittarius. These are your stars. They move with you, not against you. Whisper softly to yourself, "My family is my constellation." Each light has its place. Together we create the sky I call home. And as you exhale, notice it, the small flicker of joy returning. It doesn't come from perfection or control. It comes from harmony, from the realization that love, when shared consciously, can still feel like freedom. Chapter 4: The Gratitude Orbit. Returning to joy through cosmic awareness. There's a soft turning point in every Sagittarius woman's journey. That quiet, luminous moment when exhaustion begins to give way to awareness. It doesn't happen through grand change or sudden breakthroughs. It happens in whispers, the first genuine laugh after a long day, the morning light glinting off a cup of tea, the slow exhale when you finally stop measuring your worth by what you accomplish. That, Sagittarius, is the moment Jupiter smiles, because gratitude has entered your orbit again. Gratitude for you is not passive thankfulness. It's cosmic participation. An acknowledgement that even amid fatigue, life is still extraordinary. When you practice gratitude consciously, you expand your energy field. You shift from what is missing to what is moving. And that single shift changes everything. Jupiter's very essence is expansion through appreciation. When you open your heart to gratitude, you harmonize with your ruling planet's highest frequency, joy in motion. You can begin this alignment through simple, sacred practices, small, sustainable rituals that feed both your spirit and your nervous system. Each evening, create a Jupiter journal. On one page, record 3 glimmers from your day. Not achievements, but moments of light. Perhaps your mother smiled when you brushed her hair, or your child said something kind without prompting, or you caught a moment of stillness between tasks. Write these without judgment, as pure observation. Over time, you'll notice a pattern. Joy is not gone. It simply hides in the ordinary, waiting to be seen. To amplify the energy, write your reflections under the night sky. Step outside, breathe the air, and look upward. The stars remind you that your life, even in its smallness, is part of something vast. Whisper softly, "Thank you, Jupiter, for the grace woven into this day." That invocation opens a quiet channel between you and the cosmos. Not superstition but synchrony. You can also bring gratitude into your caregiving moments. When you help your parent with a simple task, pause to feel the love beneath the motion. When you guide your child through a challenge, take a breath and notice the courage it takes, in both of you. These micro moments of awareness are portals of healing. Gratitude doesn't erase difficulty, but it gives it dimension. It turns effort into meaning. Astrologically, Jupiter teaches that gratitude expands whatever it touches. During waxing moons, when energy builds, focus your gratitude on what's growing. Small successes, emerging peace, the steadying of your spirit. During waning moons, when energy softens, use gratitude as release. Thank the lessons, bless the endings, forgive yourself for the times you fell short. This lunar rhythm mirrors your own, expansion and contraction, joy and rest, inhale and exhale. One of the most powerful ways to embody this awareness is through visualization. Try this each night before sleep. Close your eyes and imagine a soft golden light surrounding you. Jupiter's light, warm and forgiving. Within that light, see threads of energy extending from your heart to those you care for. Parents, children, friends. Each thread glows gently, pulsing with love. Whisper, "May we all rest in harmony. May our hearts remember joy." Then imagine the threads glowing brighter, not draining you but forming a circle of exchange. Your love flows outward, and their love returns to you. This is the true orbit of gratitude, giving and receiving in balance. Real-world evidence mirrors this cosmic truth. Studies have shown that consistent gratitude practice reduces caregiver stress, improves sleep, and increases emotional resilience. Your spirit has always known this. When you focus on what's luminous, your energy recalibrates toward light. To bring this awareness deeper, invite your family into your gratitude orbit. At dinner or bedtime, share one beautiful thing from the day. Let everyone speak. Even the youngest, even the quietest. Over time, this becomes a ritual of remembrance, a way to reweave joy through conversation, to teach each generation that wellness is built through presence. Gratitude is not the end of your journey, Sagittarius. It's the rhythm that sustains it. It's Jupiter's song playing quietly beneath the noise of your days, the music of expansion, of wonder, of gentle faith. So when life feels crowded again, when demands rise like waves, return to your gratitude orbit. Step outside, feel the night on your skin and look upward. Somewhere beyond the clouds, Jupiter glows, vast and patient. Let that light remind you, your life, even now, is sacred. Every act of care, every laugh shared, every breath you take in awareness, it all belongs to the same cosmic dance. Whisper softly to yourself, "I am part of something infinite. Gratitude moves through me like starlight. My joy is not gone, it is returning one breath at a time." And in that quiet knowing you'll feel it, the peace you've been seeking, the warmth rising again in your chest. The orbit is complete. The archer's heart is open. And through Jupiter's light you have found your way back. Not just to balance but to joy. Conclusion: joy as a journey, not a destination. There comes a quiet evening, Sagittarius, when the house finally rests and the air feels still. You sit in that soft silence, the hum of the refrigerator, the weight of the day fading, and you realize something gentle has changed. The fatigue hasn't vanished, but it feels different now. Softer, lighter. For the first time in a long while, you can sense a current of warmth running through your life again. This is not the old fiery joy that used to burn bright and wild. It's something deeper, a steadier flame, sustained by gratitude, awareness, and the wisdom you've gathered on this journey. You used to think joy belonged somewhere far away, in the places you hadn't yet traveled, in the freedom you once imagined you'd return to when life finally calmed down. But now you see the truth. Joy has never been waiting at the finish line. It's been walking beside you all along, quietly disguised in ordinary moments, in the smile of someone you love, in the rhythm of shared laughter, in the simple miracle of your own breath. This, Sagittarius, is Jupiter's ultimate teaching. Expansion isn't only about reaching farther. It's about seeing wider. It's the capacity to hold life as it is and still call it beautiful. It's the realization that you don't need to escape to feel free. You need to awaken to the meaning already present in your days. Jupiter has not taken away your responsibilities. It has illuminated them, showing you that each act of care is also an act of connection, Each repetition a reminder that love is alive through you. You've journeyed from exhaustion to awareness, from fog to faith. You've learned that your freedom doesn't dissolve in caregiving. It transforms through it. You've learned to move in rhythm with the stars, to honor your own cycles of energy, to laugh again without guilt. You've learned to see your family not as a weight, but as your constellation. A living sky of stories, lessons, and love that moves with you, not against you. And now when you look upward, Jupiter's glow feels familiar. It's no longer a distant light in the cosmos. It's the reflection of your own expansion. You have become the living embodiment of its wisdom. Generous, radiant, rooted in faith. The archer has returned, but this time, she doesn't shoot her arrow toward escape. She draws her bow toward presence, aiming her awareness into the heart of the life she already lives. Close your eyes and take a slow breath. Feel the steady beat of your heart, the warmth in your hands, the calm in your chest. Whisper gently, "My joy is not behind me. My joy is not ahead of me. It is here in this moment, rising like light through my every breath." This is your new freedom, Sagittarius. Not the wild pursuit of what's next, but the soft, soulful acceptance of what is. This is your new joy, one that doesn't depend on escape, but on appreciation. You have not just found peace in caregiving. You have transformed it into an art form. The art of loving with awareness, of giving without losing yourself, of expanding even in stillness. You are the archer again, your bow steady, your gaze lifted, your heart luminous. The horizon hasn't disappeared. It has simply moved inward. The joy you once chased now lives quietly within you, breathing, glowing, guiding. And each time you care, each time you laugh, each time you look at the night sky and whisper thanks, Jupiter will answer. Not with grand miracles, but with a steady peace that whispers back. Yes, beloved archer. You are exactly where you are meant to be.